So Max, have you always been interested in foreign languages?
No, actually, I had little to no interest going into my ninth grade year. I really just had to take a foreign language class because that's what you do in high school. So I walked in the first day and was just mind blown and completely disoriented. It was miserable the whole class
And
time.
why was it miserable?
Just because I had no idea how to learn a language. I was just blown away because you were speaking nothing but Spanish,
Very.
and which is the reason that I think your method is so good, is that it's complete submersion the first time, and we all walked out just.
Sort of deer in the headlights the first, what would you say, couple of weeks? Or?
Oh, exactly. It was at least a month before we all started relaxing a little bit.
Okay.
It was crazy.
And now I just can't hold you guys back.
Oh, no, we might have overcompensated a little bit for that, but...
So, but one thing I've noticed about you is that you're fearless. Like, you're not afraid of anything, and most importantly, you're not afraid of making mistakes. You actually want to put to use what you know, however much that is. Talk about that a little bit. How do you practice?
Yeah, so a lot of the practice I get in is actually at work, because I work with a lot of native Spanish speakers, and so every time I go in, it's half of my stress is going about what's my work day going to look like, and half of it is what Spanish am I going to use, what am I going to mess up, and what am I going to learn, because as soon as you go in, you can't be worried about what you're going to say, because they're speaking so fast to you, you've got to hear every word, and at least half of the words, because they're just moving. But after that point, you've just got to be ready to respond. Mm-hmm. And if you're scared, nothing's going to come out.
Well, still, even if you're not scared, you're clearly not going to understand everything they're saying.
No, yeah.
But what is your secret? I mean, you just use what you know?
I think you do, and the best part is people are very excited to help you if you're learning a language, because they're always, as soon as you start speaking it with them, they gauge where you're at. And most of the time, they'll slow it down a little bit for you if you ask, because they know you're trying and they appreciate you. So
that's one thing that I think so many people don't know, is that they appreciate your effort.
Oh yeah, and I think a lot of the people they're very excited to help you along the way. So
yeah, and I think you told me that one person gently corrected a mistake you made or
yeah,
something like that.
That was one time I was in the kitchen and it was about 10:15, and I asked one of the ladies nicely if she was closed, and I said, "Usted está se riendo?" And she looked at me like I was crazy and said, "You don't say se riendo because you're going to sound intoxicated. It's cerrando." And I've never messed that up since.
That's right. And she wouldn't have had the opportunity to correct you if you had been afraid to speak in the first place.
Exactly.
And so that's one thing that I love so much, is that you just go for it. And I guess that's really the best way, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So what advice would you give to someone who is about to dive into learning their first language, their first foreign language?
That's a good one. So I would say make sure that the work you put in at the front end will get you moving through the next little bit, because it's always the first couple weeks or the first getting over that initial hump that's the hardest, because it's really not about learning a language that's hard, it's learning how to learn a language.
How to learn a language.
Exactly, because I think that's what you've probably learned, is after you get the first one down, at least if they're in the same general idea of languages, it gets easier as they go, because you've learned how verb conjugations worked, and you've learned how vocabulary memorization works, and how to put it to practice. So if you put in a lot of work at the front end, I think you'll be good to go.
That's really great advice about just learning how to learn a foreign language, because it's not the same as learning math or science or whatever. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you're taking the time. Muchas gracias por tu tiempo.
Oh, siempre es un placer.
Okay.